This will be nice. This will be nice.
Show me underwear. The dark place you were in that day.
That's like a mic drop on the way out.
I remember.
Yeah.
Trevor's question.
Thanks.
I assumed it was Dan's, but or mine. JJ, I was going to say it was a unique situation, but this is the second time this year you faced a team whose head coach got fired. I guess unexpectedly to some the day before. You're worried about your own team, but how does that impact things, and does it come up at all in a prep?
We acknowledged it, but it doesn't change our prep necessarily. I think we potentially have to be prepared for them, and we are, for them to play more pick and roll. But a lot of what they're going to try to do, we assume will be similar. And let me just say that, I've been around the league now for 19 years, played against them, have coached against them, have covered them. And I don't know the circumstances, but I have the utmost respect for Taylor, and I've always felt like he's one of the best. And I'm sure he'll have other opportunities, but he should be really proud of what he's built here.
With your team just coming off that kind of crazy back-to-back, and you get a day to reset, but it's the end of the trip, how do you feel like you guys are from an emotional standpoint?
We're great. Yeah. In fact, I think most of the guys had it's not moved on, but most of the guys had a level of resolve yesterday. And we were dialed in this morning with our prep, and we'll be ready to play.
Hey, Coach, one of 82, but considering the situation, you tied with this team in the standings, and also a tiebreaker situation. Does this game have more of importance, or it's just one of 82?
No, every game right now has a lot of importance, and I don't look at any game as one of 82. Every game so far has been the most important game of the season, and tonight is the most important game of the season so far.
There's a little bit of, I guess, a meme about your team where whenever a guy is...
I guess a meme?
Not I guess a meme, sorry. It sounds like a drug. I guess a meme, an internet meme.
Yes, I'm familiar with memes.
About where if guys always seem to come back and get healthy when they play the Lakers.
Yeah.
Have you noticed this? Luka mentioned it, I think, at one point. Have you noticed it this year? And I'm just kind of curious, sort of like when you see a guy questionable.
Yeah, we had our analytics group look into it, and I don't know that it's been updated. I haven't looked at it since Dame missed the Milwaukee game, but I think it's like 86% of payroll has been available to us this year, which is by far number one in the league.
Oh, when teams
like I'm saying, other teams' payroll, yeah,
okay,
has been available against us, yeah.
I guess secondly, you guys, it seems like your backup center at this point it's Vando, or playing small is sort of the preferred method when you have to use a backup big. I'm curious, like over these next 10 games, how are you going to evaluate Trey, Christian, Alex?
Hopefully there's not 10 games. I'll say that.
I don't know how many there's left.
There's 9.
Okay. Over the next 9
I hope there's not a 10th game.
How are you going to evaluate those three guys? Do you have in mind kind of who that person is? Should you need a center?
Yeah, I think it's going to come down to the end of the regular season, and we'll have to obviously make a decision. But the health of Rui is really important for us to be able to play, small ball with that lineup as well. So hopefully, as his minutes increase, we'll be able to do that. You can't, just because of the nature of the rotation, we can't play that for 30 minutes a game right now. But hopefully, as his minutes increase, we'll be able to play that lineup more.
You told Mike that you guys are good as a team mentally after the dramatic ending in Chicago. I'm just curious, even if that's the result, did anything have to happen to get to that place? Was there discussion? Was there acknowledgement? Anything like that? Or was it more like we turned the page and we don't even need to delve into what happened?
No, there was discussion. I mean, the coaching staff, I took a number of the coaches to dinner. Shout out to Mason Plumley. Mastadora Bastion. It's a Spanish steakhouse, phenomenal. would highly recommend. Have you been?
No, I've heard of it.
Yeah, it's great. Apparently he has an apartment upstairs. We talked about it that night. We talked about it again on the plane. We rewatched it after the game multiple times in the locker room. Some discussion with players on the plane. Met with a few guys this morning just to kind of talk through and make sure we're all on the same page on the timeout situation and why a timeout wasn't called. And again, I did a lot of reflection on that. It was a weird game because of Luka getting hit in the face, Austin falling, and us having to use the second challenge. Ideally, the refs call the game the right way. We don't have to use an early challenge because Josh Giddey throws the ball out of bounds. So because of that situation, we only had one. And in some ways, because I kept it, the worst case scenario happened. And then because we had the timeout, we won the game. And then we lost the game. You know, so I think everybody's comfortable with that sort of thought philosophy. Doesn't mean we can't do a better job of executing, and if there's no one open, we would not use the timeout. We would use the timeout. But with one there, I think everybody's on the same page. So that was a lot of the discussion.
JJ, it seems like since LeBron came back, he's been used more as a screener on ball with Luka, whether it's been double drags or even two-man game between them. What has led to using him more as an on-ball screener for him, and what have you liked about maybe some of the mismatch hunting and getting like a smaller guy onto LeBron and then team doubles?
Yeah. So the thought process there is certainly game to game. You know, the middle pick and roll, Chicago had some trouble with because they weren't switching those pick and rolls, and so he was able to get behind the defense. You know, versus Orlando and Reds, you know, that's the hope that he can touch and roll and get behind or get a nail touch against a smaller defender. So it's really just game to game trying to figure out, you know, where we can create advantages. Halliburton, again, was not going to switch onto him, so we kind of used him there a little bit too. And then, you know, again, discussion points with all those guys about when they're on the court together. Sometimes they're going to be in two-man action. There's a few options for us with three-man action that I think we can be better at, and we need more reps at, to be honest with you. You know, that was a big point that one of them made to me this morning, was just we need more reps together where we're all on the court, and that takes time, and we don't have a lot of it. And the other reality is sometimes if we're attacking X5, two of those guys are going to be off the ball, and they have to be okay with that and comfortable and still be shot ready and still be aggressive if the ball is swung to them.
Next question.